Hello everyone. Today I wanted to talk about ghost stories that happened to me, happened to friends and relatives. Everyone seemed a bit shy to talk about that because it feels a bit strange. Anyway, my first ghost story, it was one that my grandma told me. My grandma was the youngest of her family, and her mom died when she gave birth to my grandma. This used to happen long ago. Women that gave birth, there was a lot of chances to die of infections and all that. Anyway, her biggest sister, the oldest one, became her mom, the mom for my grandma. Anyway, the biggest sister married, and in one holiday when they used to visit my grandma, the husband, unfortunately, had been I don't know, a bad person or something, because he made a pass to my grandma. And at the time, my grandma was a very young girl, probably 18, and she took this really badly because she absolutely loved her sister, who was basically the mother. Anyway, a year passes, and my grandma married. And one night, as she was asleep, she was awakened by a voice. And that voice said, "Please forgive me." And so my grandma spoke to her husband, my grandpa, and said, "I just heard the voice of such and such," and she said the name of her sister's husband. And he said, "Forgive me." And I believe something must have happened to him, and he came and asked for my forgiveness. So, I mean, they forgot about that because they used to live far away. Excuse me. They used to live far away, and so they forgot about it. But the letter came. And it just says that. It says that these men died. So that's my first ghost story. And when my grandma told me that story, I was like a bit like, you know, old people stories. So when we came here to Australia, and of course the family was in the old country, I used to have a cousin of mine, and he was always a bit, anyway, he was a drug addict, actually. And he was a very good person and all that. And unfortunately, he fell on the wrong side of the tracks and destroyed his life. Anyway, it was summer, and I said to my husband, well, I'm just going to have a little nap. And so I went, and in my dreams, as I was sleeping a bit and all that, I woke up in my dream and went outside in the landing, and oh, what a surprise! My cousin was there. And I was really surprised, and I said, oh, how did you come here? When did you arrive? Why didn't you tell me anything? And instead of greeting me, and, you know, he was quiet. And why don't you say anything? Why didn't you tell me you were coming? This is such a surprise. And as I was going to greet him and hug him, he held me by my shoulders and started shaking me. And he said these words. He wasn't upset, but he just said these words, "You don't understand. You don't understand." And And I said, I was upset. I mean, what do I don't understand? You're here, and I want to give you a hug. Why don't you allow me? So finally I gave him a hug, and as I touched his face was cold, so cold, and wet. And I woke up repulsed, And my first thought is something must have happened to him. And I didn't say anything at all. I mean, you don't want to sound weird, do we? Anyway, unfortunately, couple of days later, an uncle of mine called me, and he said, I'm afraid I got bad news about such and such. And before he said anything, I said, yes, I know, he's dead. And so that was my own ghost story, if you will. But also I have another ghost story, and that is about a pet we used to have. It was a small, what you call a dwarf pinscher. It's a little dog, and he was with us for 12 years. And he was pretty sick. I was like a nurse for him. Anyway, when he passed away, he was with my daughter. And I was at work, and so I couldn't be with him on that last day of him. And anyway, a few days later, my daughter came to me and she said, something happened to me very strange. And what is it? And she said, I felt our dog. I was asleep, and he used to jump on the bed and walk all over you and all that. It's a very small dog, but you could feel him. And she said, and I felt him walking around on top of me, and I said, oh, get away, I want to sleep. And then I realized, and then my daughter realized he was dead, of course. Anyway, a few days later, I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was telling her, how sad we were and all that. And she said, have you felt him? And no. And she said, well, I felt all my cat. She used to have cat. And no. And then I remember what my daughter told me. I said, no, not me. But my daughter did. Is that usual? They say, yeah, it happened to me all the time. When I have one of my pets pass away, I felt them. And I said, well, yes, it does happen. So anyway, I was just wondering if anyone has had any experience of that sort, or someone in the family, because usually people don't like to talk about these things. Anyway, I'll leave you with the fake wallpaper fireplace, because it's pretty warm in here. Okay, bye for now, and thank you. Bye.